Hello students, hello everyone. There are queries as to, sir, how do we study chapter number 5 and chapter number 9 in CA Inter paper number 5 Auditing and Ethics. Alright, so today I'll be telling you how effectively you can study chapter number 9 and chapter number 5. Chapter number 9 is about audit of different entities. Okay, so we'll be talking about in this particular chapter what are the things that we'll be talking about: hospitals, hotels, restaurants, right? So these type of topics, how do we study? The chapter is pretty big and we have good weightage also for this chapter. So how do we study? So the effective method would be, rather than studying this chapter as a chapter, you effectively divide this chapter number 9 into 3 parts. Okay, divide this into 3 parts. One is 9A, 9B and 9C. Okay. Now, what are the things that will come under 9A? What are the things that will come under 9B? And what are the things that will come under 9C? Under 9A, you can consider government audit. Under 9B, you can consider cooperative society audit. Alright, and under 9C comes other entities. Okay, so government audit, cooperative society audit and other entities. Now, under other entities, hotels, restaurants, clubs, theaters, all these movies, all these things will come. How do we see, how do we study that? See, in every entity, there are 5 things that are common. Okay, 5 headings that are common which we have to think about. Alright, one is called our preliminary procedures. Okay, now what are preliminary procedures, sir? Getting to know about your client. So basically, if it is a company, reading their MOA, AOA. If it is a trust, then reading their trust deed, right? So if it is partnership, reading their partnership deed, correct? So such things come under preliminary. What acts are applicable for them? What is the accounting system they are maintaining? So getting to know the client, in our audit language, basically understanding the entity environment and internal control. Clear? So that comes under preliminary procedure. Then comes income. Every entity will have income. Yes, it may be through donations or it may be through business, but income will 100% be there. So next heading will be income. And now under this, all the income related points you can put it. Clear? Then comes expense. So P&L items are covered. Okay. Now 4th item will be balance sheet items, that is assets and liabilities. Alright. So this way you can divide the entire chapter and study. Now division is done. Step number 1 is division, which is done successfully. Clear? This way we'll divide. Now comes step number 2, where how to study once division is done. Okay, very simple. You will be studying your routine. Like routine study means what here? In our entire syllabus we have chapter 11 chapters we have. Correct? Now out of this, if I remove 3 chapters, that is your chapter number 5, chapter number 9 and chapter number 10. Clear? Now chapter number 5 is items of financial statements. Chapter number 9 is different entities. And chapter number 10 is bank audit. Okay. So apart from this, your all other chapters are basically based on standards. Clear? So purely standard based topics other chapters are. Now when you're studying your other chapters on a daily basis, revision or normal studies, routine studies, whatever you're doing, daily basis, let us say you allocate 3 hours. You allocate what? 3 hours. In that, divide this 3 hour into 2.5 hour and half an hour. Okay. Now 2.5 hours you give it to your routine studies. For half an hour you take other entities. Okay, you take other entities. Now other entities, how will you take? Every day one entity you do. Clear? Every day one entity. Today you do hospitals, tomorrow you do movies. Clear? Or movie theaters. Day after tomorrow you do NGOs. Then you do educational institution. Clear? This way when you do, there won't be too much of the stress on your head when it comes to chapter number 9. Okay. Now, sometimes there are some points which will make sense, but it need not be there in your module. In your module, they will imagine they have given some limited points. Clear? You can think of some points which makes sense also there. Clear? Now, how you are supposed to think? See, we have category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In every category, if you are able to write 2, 2, 3, 3 points, clear? So that will be coming around 10 to 15 points. Okay. Now in your institute model, if it is not there, then don't add unnecessary points. But if there are too much of a content, you can think of writing such points or small points or easy points in these categories and still be able to score some level of marks instead of losing the entire question. Clear? This way, effectively you can divide chapter number 9 and study also effectively. When you complete one unit every day, then you will not even know that I have completed a chapter. Once all other entities are done, entire 9C part is done, then go to 9B and then go to 9A. Clear? In 9A also you have actually so many things to study: performance audit, expenditure audit, revenue audit. Clear? So you have so many things to do there. Part by part, if you do, it is much better. Clear? This is how you study chapter number 9. Okay. Now, how do I study chapter number 5? Chapter number 5 also has very similar template. Clear? In chapter number 5, we have items of financial statements. Items of financial statements. In that, we have two types of items: balance sheet and P&L items. Okay. Assets, liabilities, capital. And in P&L, income, expense. Right? So, again an important chapter. On an average 10 to 15 marks you can expect from this chapter. So it's very important to study, but not very difficult. It's a bulky chapter, I understand, but not too bulky if you do it in the right way. Now, what should I do it in the right way, sir? Then how should I do it in the right way? Simple. Just like how we did chapter number 9, same logic will apply for chapter number 5. Clear? There are students who have done routine study chapter 9 and chapter 5 simultaneously. That is one way of looking at it. Or complete your chapter 9, then instead of that half an hour, instead of doing chapter 9, you do chapter number 5. Okay. So when you do chapter 5 in the same manner, every day one item of financial statement. Today you do share capital, tomorrow reserves, then borrowings, then trade payables, then trade receivables. Like that, every day one thing you do, it would be easier. Now there we had preliminary, income, expense, asset and liability. Correct? Huh? Now here what will we have? Here, whether it is a P&L item or whether it is a balance sheet item, we will have something called as assertions. Making your own short notes are extremely important. Making your notes is extremely important. So do not ignore the value of short notes. And this particular chapters, especially chapter 5 and chapter 9, if you have your own short notes, it would be better. If not, at least highlight the keywords in the book and study those things. Okay. So you'll have assertions like completeness, valuation, cut off, right? Sorry, presentation and disclosure. So you'll have various assertions there. Those assertions, you divide it into groups. Clear? If you are making short notes under those respective assertions, you write keywords and keep whichever is easy for you, because it's humanly possible. If you see share capital, the content is so much, 3-4 pages they have asked, right? Now how it is possible for a student to write so many points? Clear? So if you make short notes like this, chapter 5 also can be managed in an effective manner. So during your routine studies only, continue same logic, 2.5 and half. 2.5 for your other topics and half an hour for your chapter number 5 topic. You do chapter 5 after chapter 9 or you do chapter 9 after chapter 5, doesn't matter. These two things can happen simultaneously, also can happen non-simultaneously also. You can do it separately also. Correct? Huh? Yes, huh? So this is how chapter number 5 and chapter number 9 you guys will be studying. Right? Now this video I did specifically because students came and asked, sir, how do we study chapter 5 and how do we study chapter 9? The content is too much and the content is important in the examination. So how do we not skip it? Right? Lot of people think of skipping chapter 5 at least. Right? So how do we not skip it and still do better in the exams? So for that purpose, this particular technique, if you can adapt, you need not skip it, and every day when you do small part of it, it will be covered up, right? Especially for people who are writing in May. Now we are still in February, you can still do it, right? So entities might take around 13 days and items might take around 12 days or 13 days if you're doing one thing every day. Okay, so number of hours also are short. Every day only half an hour you are giving and you're not too stressed about the topic. One day if you sit for the entire chapter, it will be too much, right? So for that purpose only, do not take stress. And if you want any other resource as to how to study some other chapter or some other standard, please put in the comment box. Clear? And I'll be happy to guide you guys, right? Thank you so much and have a great day ahead.